Alright, Appendix H, Principle of Requirement of the Non-Traditional Education. Section 1 is Direct Assessment of the Competency-Based Programs, programs designed to prepare for the student's specific profession and career, especially suited to be offered with the Direct Assessment of the Competency-Based Program, because the special program focuses on students' needs to know, understand, and to be able to do so. The public also to utilize the development of the curriculum expected of the competency, the ways to directly assess these the competencies equate the credit hours and clock hours required in the United States Department of Education, as well as the Council with the demand for each for that involvement in employers appropriate with other experts and the discipline, but potential benefits of gain for such program as follows: allows the students to progress at their own pace but compliant with the institution's satisfactory academic program policy, allow flexibility to motivate the students, may potentially short time the completion of the program, may potentially reduce overall cost of their education, may foster creativity of the institution, faculty, student in exploring cost-effective pathways to complete the program. Federal definition of the direct assessment competency-based program: the direct assessment program, the institutional program, in lieu of the credit hour of the clock hours measured for the student learning, we utilize the direct assessment. The student learning recognized the direct assessment. Student learning by others. Assessment must be considered for the accreditation for the institution program. Utilization result of the assessment. Direct assessment. Student learning must means the measure for the institution what it needs to know and you can do, and the provide the knowledge making of the educational program. Measure provided for the evidence for the student has commanded the specific subject content area for the skill for the student, demonstrate the specific quality of the such creativity, analysis, synthesis associated with the subject matter of the program. Example of the direct measure will include the project papers and examination, presentation, performance, and portfolios. Accreditation, independent colleges and schools, glossary, the use of the federal definition for the guide for the council developed, expanded with the definition competency-based program, the directed assessment competency-based programs, longer list for the direct assessment measure for the government growth, so the indirect assessment measure for the above aimed at valuable assessing institutional program effectiveness does not include the consideration approval of the compliant competency-based program for conservation eligibility to participate in Title IV of the Federal Student Aid Program. The Department of Education will consider only the direct assessment competency-based programs. Process of the review of the approval, the quality monitoring visit, the propose initiate the direct assessment competency-based program to classify the substantial change required of the council review of the approval. Institution must be part of one application direct assessment competency-based program along with received required supporting documents. Preliminary review of the council action. Separate applications is required for each of the program. The guidance documentation, instruction applying with the Part 1 application is designed at the interview guide with the instruction with the gain of the idea with the direct assessment, the method is strongly recommended for the professional career focused program. The principal requirements include the appendix will be applied with the reviewing the application and considering the application for the council to determine the institution demonstrated that his use of the rigorous peers process to identify the student. The graduate must know how to and be able to conserve that competent with the employers expert in the field of discipline. In addition, with the institution demonstrated that it has developed the robust direct assessment techniques for this explicitly described and how to determine the equivalent numbers of the credit and clock hours of the program. Upon approval of the Part 1 application of the council, the institution will apply for the use of the Department of Education Title IV approval for the proposed direct assessment competency-based program. Part 2, the application for the direct assessment competency-based program must be submitted with the accreditation independent college schools at least 3 months prior to the effective start date of the program. The approval letter must be provided instruction with at least 2 quality monitoring on-site visits of the institution. The visit will be conducted within 6 months of the start of the program. Second follow-up of the visit will be conducted in 12 to 8 months for the starting of the program, depending on the credential level of the program. Institutional missions and institutional readiness. The baseline introduction for the direct assessment of the competency-based program, they support the mission and objective of the institution. Structural objective of the program must clearly demonstrate that the system and process we utilize to identify and define the system. Specific competencies related to the program. Program shall include the participation and representation with employers, experts in the field, faculty, alumni, and faculty. A campus effectiveness report must include the decision process of the direct assessment competency-based program, including rationale, overall structure, anticipated direct assessment, method, and gauge plan for the assessment, continuous improvement of the program, adoption of the best practices and competency-based education. Missions, requirements, enrollment, the eligibility requirements of the mission, direct assessment, competency-based programs must be clearly defined and published, consistently applied with the institutions expected to develop the objective of mechanism for the same to determine the potential character for the students who are best suited for the purpose and complete the program. Curriculum development and direct assessment measuring the development of the curriculum. An institution must organize each of the course to enable the student to clearly understand the measuring learning objectives wherever the possible. So encourage the institution to utilize standard testing in the institution. Industry will recognize licensure, certification, examination, direct assessment, student learning, multiple direct assessment methods, which are student-centered must be utilized with them and where approachable. Where appropriate, the syllabus for each of the course must be expanded to include the clear learning objectives of the students, competency, expectations, direct assessment techniques, utilize the faculty criterion based for rating a rubric score with appropriate institution systematic method of determining credit with the hour of the syllabus must be clearly stated with the student progresses will monitor how the file grades will record faculty instructional support. Maximum support of the program and the faculty is essential to develop and implement the student-centered program. The institution may demonstrate the faculty be members to provide the proper and sort of the professional development activities support of the program. Rational faculty and student ratio must be developed. The adequate technology support may be provided with the appropriate faculty monitoring student progress and competency achievement. Student support service. The institution must demonstrate its offer to student support services to assist the student in achieving the competency of the mentoring students. A counselor may be trained to provide suitable. The institution must have the defined pathway competency-based program student who may be advisable transitional fixed schedule and teacher-directed format. Academic advisor, registrator of the career counselor, financial aid counselors must be provided with the specific training to support the direct assessment of competency-based students. Utilization external ed-need expertise, the appropriate installation, utilization external ed-need experts provided with the portion of the direct assessment competency-based program. The scope of the nature of the involvement must clearly outline in the formal contract. The institution must demonstrate significant academic control for the development and the monitoring of the program. The contract must be approved by the council prior to the implementation. The external ed-need experts utilized by the institution faculty must be provided with more than 50% of the direct assessment competency-based program. Continuous program assessment improvement. The institution must adequately plan for the assessment and continuous assessment effectiveness of the program provided with the continuous improvement. These plans must describe the campus effectiveness plan. Publication for accurate disclosure approved. The direct assessment competency-based program must be provided within the institution catalog website. The catalog describes the following the requirements described in the outline of Appendix C. Section 2. Distant education. In addition to general standards, Title III, Chapter 1 will apply all institution applicable standards. Chapter 2 and 6 will outline the standard of applying the special distance education delivery methods. The principle, the guidelines are designed to inform the institution with the policy of the council to guide the institutional representative of the design, implementation, evaluation, and education forms of educational delivery. Institutional readiness. Institution must notify the receipt with approval of accreditation, independent college schools, youth, and distance education, but as a mode of delivery. Institution must have the plan to implement the distance education instruction. A minimum of the plan shall be used the rational resource of the course program. The content of the student assessment institution must integrate with the plan of the campus effectiveness plan. The institutional delivery must be appropriate for the students. The curriculum and institutional policy procedure shall be consistent and applied with the youth and disclosure procedure for the appropriate mode of delivery. Institution must designate a qualified individual to oversee the distant education activities. Mission requirements and enrollment. Institution must identify the mission requirements of the distant education course or the programs, how they differ from the applicable and off-the-ground admission requirements. If online admission the test is required, it must be administered in the manner with verify that the student's identity. The institution must clearly in writing at the time of the enrollment how the students identify with verified throughout the course program. The student's privacy is protected with if the student will be advised additionally charged with associated verification of the student identity. The institution must clearly appropriate state the requirements for the student must have access in order to access the mode of delivery. Our institution must provide an online orientation program to familiarize the student with the equipment, with the resources of distant education activities, orientate the student in the distant education learning process. Alright, curriculum and instructional delivery. Regardless of the instructional delivery, the syllabi must identify the course of learning objective. The course of learning objectives must support one of the program learning outcomes. See the glossary addition of the syllabus. The course provided the sufficient appropriate opportunity for the interaction between the faculty and student and among the students. The institution demonstrated the council with the clock with the credit hours required, awarded appropriate degrees, credential, offered review throughout the development, rational, credited, awarded, rational distance of education delivery course for the program generally do not use the traditional lecture, laboratory, external formula for the credit calculation. See Section 3.1.5.16 course and program measurement. Curriculum must be administered in ways that maintain security. Access to the instruction must demonstrate that the student who registered for the distant education course of the program, saying the student that participates in the completion of the course of the program receives academic credit. The verification method of option of the institution must be in a secure login, passcode, proctored examination, other appropriate student authentication verification technology. Faculty instructional support. Institution must imply the academically experientially credentialed faculty teach online course appropriate with the subject matter. The faculty hired the faculty online instruction must be properly trained to utilize the institution learning management system with the purpose of instruction, communication, assessment. Instruction provided with an accessible, reliable learning management system with technical support effective for the faculty. Online instruction and learning institution must demonstrate the student-teacher ratio appropriately supports the faculty and student interaction, facilitation, and interaction among students, interaction with the curriculum content. The institution must have the faculty development plan on the file appropriate with each of the individual for further information. See Section 3.1.5.4.3. Alright, resources and equipment. The institution must demonstrate with adequate financial resources to support the form of the delivery. The institution must demonstrate that the student taking online courses have access to the same with equivalent library resources to support with the student taking course in the physical classroom. Then 50% of the more the student program is approved with the online delivery. These resources must include minimum access virtual library collection with the program related books, journals, periodicals, access virtual library information technology services. Alright, students and student services. The institution must orientate online students in infant learning, the management system, and resources and support services, including technical support. Student services are available to students enrolled in online basic course must be in the same equivalent to those providing student enrolled ground-based programs, including but not limited to student services, counseling, academic visiting, financial aid, and employment assistance. Student evaluation program assessment. The learning objective of the course delivered online must be the same as the learning objective of the same course delivered on the ground. Regardless of the instructional delivery method, the assessment assignment that should be demonstrated with the student achievement of the course learning objective. The institution must document and conduct the course of the program evaluation, including assessment of the student learning outcomes, student retention, replacement, and student graduate faculty employer satisfaction. See Section 3.111. The institution must fully disclose the form of the instruction to use for the catalog website and the appropriate advertising promotional material. The catalog disclosure must follow the requirements described in outline Section 3701, Appendix C. Section 3, self-paced instruction. In addition to the general standards of Title 3, Chapter 1, apply to all institutions applicable standards, Chapter 2 and 3 through 36 following standards apply specifically self-paced instruction delivery methods. Principle of the guidelines are designed to inform the institution policy of the council to guide with the institutional representative with the design, implementation, evaluating self-practice, paced instructional form of the educational delivery. Institutional readiness. Institution must notify the receipt with approval of accreditation independent college schools prior to use of the self-paced as mode with the delivery. Institution must demonstrate a shift to the teacher-centered to the learner-centered environment. The institution must employ the faculty who possess the technical skills to teach the self-paced environment. The delivery method must be appropriate for the students in the curriculum. Mission requirements and enrollment. Instruction must identify the mission requirements of self-paced course or programs, curriculum, content, instruction, and delivery. Regardless of the instructional delivery method, syllabi must identify the course of learning, the objectives. Each of the course learning objectives must support one or more of the program learning outcomes. See glossary definition syllabus. An institution must demonstrate the council with the clock with the credit hours required for the awarded appropriate degrees and credential up the you've thoroughly developed rational credit award of rational distance education delivery for the course for the program. Generally do not use the traditional lecture laboratory external formula. Credit calculation, Section 3.15.16, course of the program measurement. Institutions must demonstrate the compliance to applicable federal, state, and regulations. Faculty, instructional support. The institution must employ academically or experimentally credentialed faculty to oversee the self-paced course program. The faculty must adequately train and instruct the self-paced environment. Faculty must be supported in appropriate education resources. The technically self-paced instruction. The instruction must demonstrate the student-teacher ratio or appropriately support the faculty and the student interaction. Faculty and facilitation interaction among the students, facultization, and with the student interaction with the curriculum content. Alright, resources and equipment. The institution must provide an accessible to relearning learning management system with technical support that effectively facilitate online instruction and learning. Student and student services. The institution must orient online students in learning of the management system, resources, and support with the services, including technical support. Student services, support services available to students enrolled in self-paced program must be in the same equivalent to provide students enrolled with the ground-based program, including but not limited to the student services, counseling, the academic advising, financial aid, employment assistance. Student evaluation program assessment. The course of the learning objective self-paced course must be aimed at the learning objective for the same course delivered on ground. Regardless of the instructional delivery method, assessment assignment should be demonstrate student achievement of the course learning objective. Publication. The institution must fully disclose what form of the instruction they use with the catalog website. When they appropriate advertising promotional material, the catalog disclosure must follow the requirements as described outlined in Section 3.701, Appendix C. That was Appendix H.